Ooh. I did not check my hair before starting this. Good morning, everyone. Give me half a second while I fix this hair. And there we go. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Hi. My name's Kathleen Dahlhoff, and this morning I'm just going, or afternoon or evening, or whenever you're watching this, I'm just going to be going through a very mellow, gram-based warm-up. If you've come to this before, you might notice I'm in a different location. That is because there is another class happening in my house right now, so we are in the bedroom. So this is going to be a very minimal like you don't need a lot of space. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna rotate this a little bit, and wonderful. I'm just gonna start back here. For every gram class, we always start with our bounces and our breathings, and instead of telling you guys the combinations ahead of time, I'm just going to go through them. You can do them with me, and yeah, that way we can get through some more stuff. So we're just going to lift up, soles of the feet together, feeling our arms in our back, lightly touching your shins or your ankles depending on your proportions. Make sure that you're not too close to your center. I kind of try to make a square or a nice diamond. It really isn't about getting as close as possible here. It's more about making sure that your shoulders are over your hips, and by bringing your legs out, you can counterbalance that a little bit more. So reach up and up through the crown of the head, down through both of your sits bones, and we're going to contract. And all that's happening there is I'm just releasing this way and contracting this way, and we're going to bend forward, crown of the head towards the feet, making a nice circular movement, and we're going to bounce for 6. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to release forward. 1, 2, completely straight in the spine, coming up. And we're going to let our arms float forward, our legs float forward. We're going to open, and as you can see, I don't have a lot of room, but that's okay. We're just going to lift up and over and do another 8 bounces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you notice, my shoulders are not coming up to my ears. They're staying nice and down, locked in my back. We're going to bring our feet forward, and we're going to flex, and I'm going to reach all of my energy from my heels and my fingertips straight to you guys while bringing my belly button through to this picture back here. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to press through the feet, lengthening through the spine, coming up. Now rotating in second, engaging our glutes, arms floating here as we cross our ankles, and we're going to exhale into our contraction. Our gaze is going to soften. It's going to be about 2 feet in front of you, and you're just going to inhale, inflate your spine, and exhale, release. Inhale, and exhale. 2 more times. Last one. And exhale. Let's do it in 4 counts. Inhale for 2. Our chest goes up, and then our head. We're going to come back to center. And exhale. Make sure your shoulders are staying over your hips. A lot of times for this part, we want to go here and here, but I really want to see your chest goes up and your head goes up and it stays in line. Coming back to center and exhale. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, 2, chest, then the head, staying up as high as possible, and exhale, release 1 more. Inhale for 2, and chest, and head, and back to center, and exhale. Now we're going to do the same thing, pushing our hips forward. So inhale, 2, plant your hands, push your hips, ooh, snap, crackle, pop. We're going to try to keep that length in our spine, and exhale, another time. 2, and plant, push your hips, coming back, and exhale. Make sure you're not transferring your weight forward when you press your hips through. You don't want it to do this. You want it to go straight up and back. And exhale. 1 more time. 2, plant, press your hips, and back, and exhale. Very nice. We have some, hello everyone, thank you for joining. So, something that I did a couple weeks ago that was super popular was doing those bounces, but doing them while laying on the floor to help you really find your contraction. So we're gonna start like this, and I'm gonna try not to hit my head on my dresser. But we're just gonna start with the soles of our feet on the ground. You can bring your hands on your belly if that helps you find the right feeling. I find that sometimes if I put them around my hip bones and feel the movement there, that is really helpful. Closing my eyes and visualizing what's happening, that's also very helpful. So what we're gonna do first is we're just gonna lie here, and I want you to visualize a string is tied around your tailbone and it's gonna pull directly that way. And so now, if you notice, my back is flat on the ground. That is what your contraction is. My shoulders are not going forward. They're not really curving at all beyond what's happening in my lower spine. And thinking about the string going straight that way, you lengthen the back of your spine instead of crunching. And yes, that'll make you feel like you're working your abs, but we want to work our core. So working the eccentric contraction in the back and the concentric contraction here. And I never want you to feel an isometric hold in these positions. Otherwise, that's what we call a static hold. I want you to constantly be stretching and pulling and all of that. Okay? So, with that being said, we're going to open our feet, or open our knees into a nice diamond shape, soles of the feet together, and we're going to have our arms in first position. And we're going to feel that contraction, and we're going to pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you'll notice my neck is going to come up a little bit, but I'm not doing this. You want to make sure that this is still staying nice and open, feeling all the negative space here. Now we're going to open the arms, and if you have room, you can open the legs. And we're going to do the same thing. Do not drop your elbows to the floor, because then your chest is going to be way too open. So feel like you're hugging something. And we're going to contract and pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's hold it just for a little bit. Really feel that belly button going down into the floor. Long neck. If you feel like you're cramping here, you can take your fist and put it at the base of your skull, and that'll really help you feel that traction out and up. Okay, now here's my favorite one. We're gonna have our feet up to the ceiling. I'm gonna move a little bit this way so I don't hit my head. And we're gonna do the same thing, but our feet are gonna be flexed. And as we pulse up, we're also gonna be thinking, instead of just moving our arms up, we also wanna think about our heels going up. So it's gonna have a little bit of a two-sided crunch effect, okay? So we're gonna reach up towards our toes and we're gonna pulse up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it there, feel the energy going straight out the heels and relax. I like doing that one because then you can really feel that the contraction is happening in the whole body as opposed to just your upper body. All right? Okay, my core is feeling nice and warm. Now I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. We're gonna go straight on to back leg extensions, which I don't think I've done on here before, but essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna start in a pike position. You're gonna roll onto your hip. You're gonna bend your top leg up towards your butt. You're gonna set it down, and it's basically gonna be very straight in front of you. You don't want it here. You want it nice and straight out. This is also gonna maintain the integrity of, the integrity of the alignment in your knee so that you're not like this. That is bad. And then we're gonna take our front foot. We're gonna make a nice little square here. Front foot is what we call on the walk, so it's completely flexed. If I am overturning out, it almost looks like I'm on demi point. That is not necessary. But here we are. This is our starting position. And what we're gonna do is I wanna work on our deep hip rotators. So one of my favorite parts about back leg extension is this first position where you rotate you push your energy this way into this hand. You're turning out so much that this knee lifts off the ground. Your hand is just floating here on your ankle. And the idea is that this knee doesn't go down at all. The only thing that is touching is your toes in the front and back and your fingertips here. And so you really are working the turnout here. So we're just gonna pulse this leg up and down. Really wake up those turnout muscles for when you take ballet class and you're going into your arabesque. So your teacher is gonna talk about passe, and then as you're developing back, really lifting with the knee, this is gonna help with that. Okay, so we're just gonna let's start with 16. So 1, 2, 3. If you're only moving just an inch or so, that's okay. If you can't lift your knee off the ground, that's also okay. I just want you to really focus on the isolation of these muscles, these small muscles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Whew, just 16 and I'm already feeling it. Okay, let's go to the other side. Roll onto your hip, bend your top knee towards your butt, get into a nice fourth position, making sure that your hips and shoulders are in line, facing towards the front, directly over your knee. And we're gonna come here on 1, really shifting your weight towards that back arm, and we're gonna pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Oh, I'm shaking a little bit. Very nice. Stretch it out. Maybe do a nice little hip flexor stretch. Now we're gonna go into the same fourth position, starting on your hip, bending your top leg up towards your butt. Back in this nice square position, and we're just gonna wake up our hips. So we're gonna turn, starting with the hip, and leaving your head and your shoulder all the way back. And then you're gonna spiral. And as you go around, this foot is gonna point, but your knee is not gonna drop. And that's gonna make sure that you stay over your center. And then we're gonna pull this hip back towards the ground, trying to keep everything in that spiral as we come back here. And another 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. 2, 3, 4. 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hips, waist, shoulders, head, hips, waist, shoulders, head, and hips, waist, shoulders, head. We're gonna float the arm up and do the same thing with port de bras. So that's hips, waist, shoulders, head towards your elbow, and hip, waist, shoulders. You're gonna cut through the air or through your dresser, coming back through your elbow, and hip, waist, shoulders, and head, back, following the hand. 2 more, waist, shoulders, and head, hip, waist, shoulders, and head. Feel the articulation in the hips, stretching out those hip flexors, and back. 2, 3, 4. Very nice. How are we feeling? Feeling good? Excellent. Okay, let's go to the other side. Bend your top leg up. We're gonna flex the front foot. And we're gonna start just with the hips, waist, and shoulders, and then the head, and hips, waist, shoulders, and head, hips, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 more like this. 2, 3, 4, back. 2, 3, 4. Last 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're gonna float the arm up and do the same with port de bras. Leave your head trailing until the last count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you hit all of the positions with your arms without stopping. 2, 3, head 4, and first. And up to high 5th, last 1. And 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very nice. Ooh, my back is feeling a lot more supple now, which is a great feeling. So I'm only going to be doing about 25 to 30 minutes. I've done a bunch of longer ones, so we're just gonna keep moving on. This next thing is, again, it's gonna warm up your quads. It's gonna get your hamstrings. I always am very sore after this one. So you're gonna start with your knees in line with your hips. If they turn out a little bit like this during the course of the exercise, that's okay. Mine sometimes do that because I don't have a natural turn in. I'm very turned out naturally. So we're gonna start with knees, hips distance apart, and we're gonna do a flat back over with your hands floating, just resting on your heels. And we're gonna contract, so just that lengthening that we were doing earlier, nothing else is happening, for 2, and we're gonna come back for 2. In this moment, I am not sitting down. My quads are very much engaged, my butt is engaged, I'm just floating here. If you are having trouble holding that position yourself, it's okay to put a little bit of weight on your hands, but don't sink down into your knees, because that's not gonna be very nice. So this is 2, 2. I'm gonna push my hips through, 3, 2, and then I'm gonna contract while keeping everything where it is. So 4, 2. Notice it's not quite as curved as the first time you do it. And then you're gonna release for 2 and contract, release. I'm gonna move over here, just a little farther away from you. Oh, actually, how about I do it facing you? Because otherwise I'm gonna hit myself. So, starting, flat back, we're gonna contract for 2 and back. 2, press the hips, 2, contract, 2, and release through the back, contract, release. That's one set. Here's another. 2 and back, 2 and hips, through and back, 2, release through the back, contract. We'll do this 2 more times. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2. Last time, 1, 2, and back, 2, and hips, 2, contract, 2, and through, 2, contract, release. Very nice. So we're just gonna stretch out our hips a little bit, maybe get into your quads, because that one is quite hard on the quads if you're doing it correctly. Okay? Now, just with the last little bit, we're gonna do our shin busters, which I like to do every time because jumping on floors indoors is a recipe for shin splints, and I wanna make sure you guys are nice and healthy. So, lay down, just do it with me. We're gonna start with 8 rotations en dehors, then 8 en dedans, 8 more en dehors, and then en dedans, and then you're just gonna follow me through with the rest of it, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, reverse. Really getting all of the metatarsals warm and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, en dedans. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and flex up to the ceiling and point, bring it back down. Flex up to the ceiling and point. This isn't about flexibility. You're just keeping your leg nice and straight up to the ceiling. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, and point. 2, 3, 4. We're gonna point, 2, 3, 4, float it up, 6, 7, 8, and flex, turn out, point, turn in, 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 reverse, turn out, flex, turn in, point, 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 and 8 point flexes slowly going to the floor, 6 and 7 and 8. Ooh. Maybe tap your shins a little bit, give them some love, shake it out. Now, we're gonna go to the other side. We ready? Here we go. We're gonna rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex up and straighten and point, bend it down and flex. 2, 3, 4 and point, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. Like this and down. And 1, 2, 3, 4 through the feet and down. And 8. Transition. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. 1. Turn out. Point. Turn in. Flex. Turn out. Point. Turn in. Flex. Turn out. Point. Turn in. Flex. Turn out. Point. Turn in. Reverse. Turn out. Flex. Turn in. Point. Turn out. Flex. Turn in. Point. Turn out. Flex. Turn in. Point. Turn out. Flex. Turn in. Point and flex. Point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Oh, that one always gets me. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna send you guys on your way. You should feel nice and warm and ready to do some pliés, some tendus, take a nice ballet class. This was just a really simple warm-up that I like to do before class, before a performance. So I really feel like I can get all of the muscles that support the issues that I have with my back and my hips and everything like that, so I can feel ready to tackle the day. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you all soon. Thank you, Zarely, for having me again. Sorry it was in my bedroom, but we made it work. So thank you so much. Bye.